All right, guys, I'm going to put it live on Facebook.
Should we start in a couple of minutes, Sam?
Yeah, give it about 4 minutes. I'm going to start live right now, and then we'll start from there. I'll give you a thumbs up, or I'll let you know. I'll notify you. So if you guys want, you guys can stay on mute if you want.
Okay. All right. Good evening, County of Fresno. Welcome and thank you for joining us here today. This is our fourth Creek Fire Recovery Phase 2 Right of Entry Form workshop. And before we get started, I just want to thank everybody for joining us and thank everybody that has been helping during this process. With that, I would just like to make a brief introduction to our speakers that have also joined us from the previous presentations for Right of Entry Form. John Thompson, he's with Public Works and Planning. John, would you like to introduce yourself real quick?
Sure, thank you, Deep. My name is John Thompson. I'm currently the Acting Director of Recovery for the County of Fresno for the Creek Fire. I would also like to thank you for taking your time tonight to participate in this virtual meeting. Hopefully you'll find the meeting value to you and it'll help you answer any questions you may have pertaining to the right of entry form or other options that you have to get your property cleaned up. Also like to thank Cal OES for being on the line tonight, for sticking with us all through this thing. One last note, if you have any neighbors or anybody who you may know that may not be internet savvy or don't have access to meetings like this, it'd be really great to provide them with our number, as it's critically important that we get as many parcels as we possibly can either signed up for the government-funded Phase 2 debris removal program or the owner-initiated cleanup as soon as we possibly can. We just need to know the intent of all the property owners to ensure that the lands are cleaned up. That's it for me. Thank you again.
Thanks, John. Next is our Cal OES representative, Elise Arata. Please briefly introduce yourself.
Hi there, I am Elisa Rada with the Governor's Office of Emergency Services here in support of your county. I'm the branch director for our southern branch, which is managing the operations in several counties in the southern half of California. Thank you.
Thank you, Elise. And I am Deep Sidhu. I'm with Department of Public Health and Environmental Health Division. I would like to start with just a couple updates and then move on to some of the resources we have on our website and what we have done so far to spread the word to get the right of entry form submitted. First of all, we have done a great job, and I want to thank all the community who have submitted the right of entry forms. Currently, we are at, let me get this. We have 209 right of entry forms submitted. That's almost 50% of the community that's been affected by this creek fire. And I want to thank those property owners for taking their time and submitting this right of entry forms. We also have 57 owner-initiated cleanup work plans submitted to Environmental Health Division. And that's an approved process. And once that process is approved, they could start the cleanup process with their contractors. That's almost 13% out of the destroyed properties. With that, also I want to update. I know the deadline was December 15 to submit the right of entry forms. The state have extended that deadline to January 15th, 2021, due to COVID, an increase in COVID-19 numbers due to holidays and the stay-at-home order. So this will give the property owners more time to submit the right of entry forms to our department. So some of where a property owner could go get some more information on the right of entry forms is on our website. If you go to the website, fresno.ca.us/resource Fresno County Recovers, you could also call this hotline number 600-4636. And that website will lead you to this page, which is once you click on the debris removal, that will take you to this phase 2 debris removal process. And this page has really good information for somebody who's barely starting and want to know what his right of entry form is. So there's one that says understanding the right of entry form. That's really answers a lot of questions, really important questions in there. If you read through it, it will also answer some of your questions that you might have. And this right of entry form gives permission to the city, county, and state and contractors to access to your property, the purpose of to do the cleanup. This is really critical, and the property owner itself is really critical to complete this process. And this process, that state process, is no cost to the property owner. Completely no cost at all. In terms is they have to submit their insurance. If they have property insurance, they have to submit their insurance documentation. And only the proceeds that are dedicated to the debris cleanup will be used, not the whole insurance. That's on your insurance, and you could use that as you wish. Next, we have the right of entry form. This is the Adobe sign form, which you could click and you could complete it online and submit it online. I know some of the callers that might be on here that had difficulty today. We are trying to work through that to fix those issues. Also, the second we have is you could also use this PDF fillable Word document that you could fill it online, print it, and email it to our department. And the third one is the printable form where you could print it and fill it out yourself and submit it to our department. And the email to submittal those documents are creekfire@fresnocountyca.gov. Also on the bottom, there's really good information on, there is a debris removal eligible chart, which right here, it's really helpful. And this will also answer a lot of your questions in terms of what is eligible for this program, what is not eligible for this program. For example, we have a residence house with significant damage with one wall standing. Yes, it's eligible for removal. There's some of them are really critical, for example, let me go to the next page here. Vehicles and boats. If on a property where a home was destroyed, there is another structure that is eligible for removal. Yes. So for example, you have a property where your house was, the initial house was not destroyed, but you had a shed or a barn in the back that was destroyed. The structure has to be at least 120 square foot for it to be eligible for the state program. Well, another one is foundation. Will my foundation will be removed? Yes, it will be removed during this state program. So there's really good information on these eligible chart, and will answer a lot of your questions. So with that, you know, I just want to talk about what we have done so far to reach out to the property owners for the right of entry forms. We have posted flyers, right of entry flyers at Acorn and Sugarloaf entrance to the neighborhood, Meadow Lakes mailbox, Elder Springs mailbox on Aubrey Road, Pine Ridge Elementary mailbox at Aubrey Road and Toll House Road, Shaver Springs mailbox off Tillhead Road, Big Creek Post Office, Pine Ridge neighborhood at Cressman mailbox. We have also left flyers and right of entry forms at the Ace Hardware in Auberry, Big Creek School, Shaver Lake with Shaver Lake Community Centers. And we have also in touch with some of the community members that had emails for some of the property owners, and they have really helped us emailing those property owners with these flyers and right of entry forms. And I am really thankful for those community members that have helped us during this process and to spread the word. And that really shows that we know currently we have at least 50% of the right of entry forms. And this the extension is really going to help our community to have enough time during these holidays and submit the right of entry forms before the deadline. The next deadline date is January 15, 2021, which I believe for sure it won't be extended. So I really encourage everyone whose property was affected during the Creek Fire to contact our office if they have questions, if they need any kind of assistance. We have our environmental health team going up to the Shaver Lake area, Pine Ridge area, Big Creek area, doing surveys, speaking to the property owners. And if you have some kind of a inability to use a computer or ability to mail, we'll be more than happy to come meet you at that property. Just contact our office, email us at creekfire@fresnocountyca.gov, and we'll be more than happy to assist you in any way we can. With that, I would like to have Elise give us an update on the progress of the phase 2 assessment. Where is it at? How's it going? And what does it entail? Elise?
Hi again, Elise Arata here. To go into with what Deep said about the progress that we've made so far in Fresno County, it'll make more sense if you haven't been able to listen in on the other calls. It'll make more sense about when I talk about the steps. But for total numbers, we've assessed 83 properties in Fresno counties to date, and we've done 157 asbestos assessments to date within Fresno County, within the burn scar. And then of those, we've completed asbestos abatement on one property as of last night. I believe more will be added today. I don't have the end of day report yet. It comes out in the evening, but I'm sure all 3 of those numbers have increased with the work that we've done today. And then to move into what the process entails and just kind of a summarized overview, the right of entry form that Deep was talking about is absolutely essential. That's how we know we as the government and our contractors that we've hired have permission to access your particular parcel, to be able to help in assisting remove the debris to get you back to a rebuild stage. And what that we'll begin with, after you submit your right of entry form, is a site assessment. And that is our environmental consultant. They're called Arcadis. That's them going out and, I'm sorry, our assessment and monitor, Arcadis. They're going out to each site and kind of drawing a schematic, getting a lay of the land, understanding what exactly is on your parcel in terms of structures, vessels, any kind of extraneous items. They're just really mapping out what your site is going to look like so we can best service it. Simultaneous to that, there's what's called an asbestos assessment. They're looking for asbestos that they can see, and anything that's oh my gosh, too many S's. Anything that is suspected asbestos, they will test. And then when that sample comes back clear, then that site is ready to be scheduled for actual debris removal. If that site comes back hot, we have asbestos abatement teams who will come and remove any of that identified asbestos. And then all of that is to ensure that our crews who are doing the work, and then ultimately the public who can be in and around driving around that site, is protected against any kind of airborne hazards. So after those 3 steps are completed, the next thing is the physical structural debris removal. That's where our skid steers and our excavators come onto the property and start removing all of that ash and debris, any vehicles. Also, hazard trees are part of the program this year. Hazard trees are identified as having been destroyed or damaged in the fire and will be determined by an arborist to be dead or dying within 5 years. These trees include trees that are within a direct impact of rights of way, or trees that are in a direct impact of the crews performing the work, so that we can ensure everybody's safety while we're on site. After that ash and debris is removed, we'll soil sample under each area where we've worked. That soil sample is compared to a background level that's taken kind of outside the burn area to identify things that may be naturally occurring within Fresno County. It would surprise you, things like arsenic are naturally occurring in some areas, but they're also something that is found on these burn sites. So we'll take those background samples to make sure that we're removing every contaminant so that we can ensure your site is for sure clear of any of those environmental and health hazards before we return that property to you. With those soil samples, that will require a removal of 3 to 6 inches of soil at minimum. We have processes in place where if that sample comes back hot, we could scrape another 3 to 6 inches. And then after that, if that also comes back hot, then we'll bore the area. I know that's a little technical, sorry, but we'll dig deeper basically with the sampling to understand what's naturally occurring. But we're not just going to keep digging an additional 3 to 6 inches. We're gonna really understand your property so that we don't leave you with a hole after we're done. After the soil sampling is complete, there's a step that's included known as erosion control. We'll put in some best management practices around areas to prevent any kind of land slippage or anything with the impending rain, and to prevent any other ash and debris from impacting a site where we've already cleared all the hazards. At that point, we as the state will finalize that site as being clear of everything, free of contaminants, and we'll give that information over to the county environmental health department. If they concur with our findings, then that signifies the steps within the county to give you a permit to start rebuilding and get back on track. That's just a brief overview of all the steps involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. That was really good information. And, I want to piggyback on that and talk about the right of entry form, how important this is. It's a great deal of a cost to property owners, if they go on their own or, have a contractor do it, but this is no cost to the property owner going through the state process. So it's really critical and important to get as many property owners to sign up and get this cleaned up, and so we could go back to a normal, beautiful place that Shaver Lake is in that area. And it's many, I have lived here for 20 plus years and really enjoyed that area. So, I'm really passionate about, talking about this, getting this place cleaned up. and it's really essential we get this right of entry forms completed. With that, some of the things I want to talk about is in terms of completing this right of entry form is, I want to make sure that if there is two individuals that are on the property owner as owners, please list those names on the front page, and make sure you're completing every page of the right of entry form. And the section that is talking about insurance of your property, if you do not have any insurance, you do qualify for the state program. I want to emphasize of that. If clearly, if no insurance at all you have, you still qualify for this state program. And in that page where they're asking for insurance information, if you do not have insurance, please sign that document that you do not have this insurance. And if you do have insurance, any type of insurance, please list it and do not sign that document then. Okay, so we are seeing a lot of these right of entry forms come in where they have insurance and they're signing the document, and we have to send it back or contact them to make sure they understand that when you sign that document, you are saying that you do not have insurance. Another thing I want to talk about is please make sure you sign these documents. And when you have two people listed as the property owners, please have both of the property owners sign the document. And that's really helped us to expedite this process. And another thing is, if you choose not to go through the state program and you would like to hire your own contractor, there's a work plan that you have to submit. Oops, the light went out. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. I guess the sensors. So if you choose not to go to this state program and you want to do this on your own, you have to hire a contractor and submit a work plan to Environmental Health Division. We will review this plan and return it within 48 hours. Once that process is approved, you could start your removal process, cleanup process. It's really critical that we get everybody in to do the cleanup process. And if you need assistance, please contact our office at 600-3271. And we have specialists of the days, or you could ask for Deep Sidhu, and I will answer your question and I will assist to the best I can. With that, I would like to open for question and answers. I will be answering questions, and Elise will assist if we need, and John Thompson as well will help with the answers if we need it. So with that, if we have any questions, we'll start with that process. Okay. So one question we have is, so this is a really important question. I'm glad somebody's asking this question. Should I mark any utilities on the property? One thing is for sure is if you could, on the right of entry form, there's a section in the right of entry form where you have the ability to write down and draw a map and mark these utilities such as your sewer lines, electrical, gas, cable, septic tanks, water lines, and wells on the right of entry form. And that is really helpful for the contractors to look at and be careful, and when they're doing the cleanup process. That was a really good question, and I'm sure a lot of property owners have the same question. Next we have is how do we determine property lines after debris removal? Boy, that's a really good question as well. We recommend you consult with a professional land surveyor or engineer to get an accurate determination of where your legal property lines are. Also, you could also check your deed. The deed has some information and the assessor's map. Good question. Next. Okay, next question. Are renters responsible for debris removal? Good question. No, only the property owners are responsible for debris removal. Well, this is really, really important. What happens if a contractor damages my property during debris removal? You know, this is a really good question. Any pre-existing improvements on the property, such as fences, gates, extra, which are damaged or temporarily removed in the debris removal process, will be repaired and replaced. Elise, please assist with that if I answered that correctly.
Hi, this is Elise. It's not as deep is mostly true. It's not as cut and dry as that. What we'll do is, when I was talking about how we had that site assessment, we'll also take photographs and really draw out everything that's a part of the property, make sure we're covering all of the bases, really to ensure that we're removing all of the hazards. But also, in that sense, if our debris contractors do end up damaging something that's still staying on site, what the recourse is for a homeowner is, further along in this process, there's something called a damage claim form, and a homeowner can fill out what they believe to have been caused by our crews. We'll go out, take a look with our specialists. We'll look at we'll look at that form. We'll look at the concern. We'll check it against the records from before we started, and if it's valid, we can assign our contractor to potentially repair that, whatever the damage was. Or I've also seen in the past, and I'm not sure if it's going to be the case on this operation, where we'll have a homeowner get 3 quotes for the repair of that damage, and then the homeowner would, if they didn't want to wait for our contractor to fix it, they could be reimbursed for the reasonable cost of that estimate. So there is recourse. It will be vetted, and we're not trying to make anything worse than it is. So we're going to work with you to get things fixed if we caused it.
Thank you, Elise, for clarifying that. Appreciate it. Thank you. That was a really good question. Another one we have is, does the program cover smoke damage or damage to the siding in otherwise intact structure? The phase 2 cleanup, this program is for debris removal of a destroyed structure or a residence property that are at least 120 square foot. Minimum, at least 120 square foot. I hope that answers that question. I know the answer is, I think it's no, if it's just some of the damage. We have another one. On rural properties where the main house was not damaged, will the program remove destroyed outbuildings? Yes, I think that's also any structure that is on the residential property that is at least 120 square foot that has been damaged will be removed. I think also this particular question, there's information available on the eligible chart that is on our website, County of Fresno website, Creek Fire Covers website. And like I said before, please go to our website, review some of this information, and very well, that could answer some of your questions that you have. This is a very important question. How soon after debris removal is completed will I be able to start building my home? Property owners can begin building once the debris process is completed and appropriate city county permits has been obtained. Let's see, any more questions? Okay, yeah, this is a common question we had this last time as well. Pump house or water holding tank was on a concrete slab less than 120 square feet. Will the concrete slab be removed? No, generally no, because the structure was less than 120 square foot. Unless it's attached to a larger foundation. For example, it could be attached to a house, the foundation. Hope that answers your question, but If you need further clarification, you could always email creekfire@fresnocountyca.gov. Well, this is also a question that was brought up last time. Will a fire destroy heavy equipment, large equipment such as tractors, backhoes, will be removed during the phase 2 cleanup process? The answer is yes, they will be removed. What about trees? Okay, well, any trees that are dangerous or are hazards to the public right-of-way or a public infrastructure, or trees that are going to be dying within the next 5 years, or they are dangerous to the work, to the contractors while they're doing the cleanup process, will be removed. Can I be on the property when the cleanup is happening? This is really, really important because I know a lot of property owners, you know, they really want to be there during the phase 2 cleanup process. I think that's something that you really need to address that on the right of entry forms as well. That, you know, you have special needs, or so they could contact you and let you know and provide you information on when they will be on their property. And that way they could help you with that. With that also is that, you know, some of the work is very dangerous. So you might not be able to be on your property, but you will be able to be in a close vicinity where it's safe for the property owner to be, because there's a lot of heavy equipment moving during the cleanup process, and they will not allow you to be exactly on the property, but you could be in close where they could have a communication with you. How do I get a copy of the right of entry forms if I filled it out online and when I submitted it, it disappeared? Well, you could always contact our Department of Environmental Health Division at 600-3271. You could ask for the specialist of the day, or you could ask for me, Deep Sidhu, and I will search for that right of entry form and make sure it's submitted and provide you a copy of it. Email you a copy or mail it, whichever you prefer. Let's see if we have any more questions. These are really important questions, and these are questions that a lot of property owners have. And that's one of the reasons we will continue to do this on Tuesdays, so we could provide as much information and answer as many questions we can to assist the community that has been affected by the creek fire. Encourage them to submit the right of entry forms. Like I said before, this is a free, no cost to the property owner to have this cleanup completed. And I know the deadlines have been extended to January 15, 2021, but I would like to encourage everyone, you know, it's really very, very essential to complete this right of entry forms. I know it's during the holidays, everybody's, you know, busy, but this is very essential for you to qualify and be enrolled in this program, to have the state pay for your cleanup process, you know, and try to get the property back to these normal ways, you know. Yeah, let the mother nature grow again, you know. Let's see if there are any more questions. You know, one of the other things I wanted to mention was when you are completing the right of entry form, please, there's check boxes on the first page. Please have those documents ready when you're getting ready to complete that form. That really will help you complete it. That way you don't have to go back and forth and collect information and answer some of those questions. And those check boxes are really, really helpful. And if you have that information in front of you, it makes the completing the right of entry form a lot easier. And that way you don't have to deal with shutting it off and going back to the form again. Also, please submit your insurance. If you have insurance for your property, or insurance for your automobile or any secondary insurance, please submit your insurance declaration page, attach it to the Adobe or PDF, or mail it in, and we'll get that submitted with our department. Also, if you need assistance, if you don't have access to computers, or you're elderly, or you're due to COVID, you have a stay-home process, you know, and you need assistance to mail you a copy of right of entry form, please call our office or email our office, and we'll mail that document to you. And we have team members going up there daily during weekdays, during work hours. We can also deliver that to you and have it completed and pick it up. And like I said, we will use all our resources to assist you. Also, you know, we have property owners who have submitted the right of entry forms, and then they change their mind. They want to hire a private contractor to do the part 2 of it, and they want to cancel their right of entry form. So there's a form in that packet, the right of entry. So it's a withdrawal form. So you have to complete that and sign that form in order to disqualify yourself from the right of entry form. And if you have further question of that, you could always call our office, and we'll be happy to answer that question and provide you with those documents. Elise has her hand up.
I just want to expand on that with Joel just a tiny bit. We are absolutely here with the county to support you and your decision. I do need to clarify that you can withdraw your application from our state program all the way up until we have physically moved debris. So if we've completed that site assessment, that asbestos assessment, and that asbestos abatement, at that point, it's you still have the opportunity to withdraw. But once we've got excavators touching your site, it's then you're in it for the long haul. I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Thank you, Elise. That's a really important information. So like Elise said, you know, you have up to till, you know, they start the cleanup process. They own your property and they're starting to remove the debris. You know, then it's a little late to get the withdrawal form completed. But there is a process in place. If you would like that, contact our office. We'll assist you with that. Also, you know, if any questions that you're unable to ask on this workshop, you could always email our questions. You could call our office. We'll be more than happy to answer any question you have regarding debris cleanup, a phase 2 process. John, you have any additional information you would like to talk about?
Let's see.
So we get some more questions.
I'm on. No. There was one other question that has come up in the past, and at least you probably will get this one. They were asking, because I think some property owners are waiting to see what happens on my neighbor's property. I know he's going to do the government-funded cleanup. I want to kind of see what they do and how they leave the property. I believe the first properties that they're going to do, primarily due to the asbestos issues in Big Creek, even though Big Creek is the highest priority for us to get cleaned up first, and then moving down the hill a little bit. I believe there'll be some properties being cleaned up this week, right? Hopefully by the later this week.
Hi, that is correct. We've been working with the county on priority areas. Big Creek is definitely a concern for more than just Fresno County. Unfortunately, a lot of those sites that we've been assessing for asbestos have come back hot with asbestos. So we've got abatement crews there removing that hazard so that we can start there. But with that element causing like one tiny step back, the best, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say best, but the most efficient place for us to start at this time is the Shaver Lake area with the rights of entries that we have there. And you're right, chimney tipping is a step in the process before debris removal. And we are starting chimney tipping throughout the county tomorrow. And then that will require asbestos abatement because it's naturally built into a chimney to not catch on fire, right? So so when they tip the chimneys, we'll do asbestos abatement, and then once those properties are abated as well, then they will be added to the list for debris removal.
Perfect, thank you. And also on that, once we do have some properties done, which is going to happen very soon, we will be putting those on the website too. Hopefully we'll get beforehand pictures and post pictures too, so people can see visually what's going on with those properties. That's all I had to add.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Elise. You know, talking about Big Creek, you know, I just want to thank communities of Big Creek. You know, they have completed about 90% of the property owners have submitted the right of entry forms, and really, that's a really good, you know, community effort. And I just want to thank the people there to spreading the word to the neighbors to complete the process if they haven't, or if they haven't gone through the owner initiated cleanup process. And that's really been helpful to have a tight community who's helping the neighbors, you know, letting them know what's out there, you know, how to complete these forms. Also, you know, we got one more question. This is a really, really important question, and you know, this is something that, you know, community members or the county personnel or the state personnel will be dealing with. What happens to a property that is abandoned? You know, so this is a really good question. This is something that, you know, if the property is abandoned, the county, the local agencies will do their due diligences to search for the property owner, and you know, if they can't find the property owner, they will go through the process in place to get this property cleaned up for public health and safety. You know, so we want to make sure that if there is abandoned property, and if there is neighbors who could provide us information on the property owner, or who could send a message or a call or have contact with this abandoned property to let them know that this program is available for no cost to the property owner to have their property cleaned up by the state program. That was a really good question. I'm sure we will have, you know, some of the properties that we cannot reach out to the property owners that have been abandoned, or, you know, our neighbors know any property, please let us know. We will try to reach out to the property owners to offer that this program is available till January 15 to submit the right of entry forms. I think like John mentioned, you know, we are actively still going out to the communities, a mountain community, serving the properties, talking to the property owners, talking to the community centers, posting flyers at the grocery stores, at the markets, at the coffee shops, at the restaurants, providing ROE forms at the Ace Hardware stores, you know, communicating with the community leaders and members to email the property owners. So we are actively trying our best to reach out to the community and letting them know that regarding these resources that are available and where this information is available on the county website, and, you know, who to contact if they have questions. So I really cannot emphasize enough that importance of submitting these right of entry forms. It's a really great program. It's no cost to the property owners, and you know, more right of entry forms we have, you know, it's better it is. So we could get this this great location, great community cleaned up, you know, all at once, and get back to its natural beauty, you know. So, you know, we are here to answer questions and provide resources that as much as we can, what's available. There is information on our website. And like I said before, you know, you could always call our department. With that, I think we haven't had any more questions. I would like to say, if anybody else would like to say anything, otherwise I just want to thank everybody for joining. I want to thank Elise, OES, for coming here, spending the time and helping, assisting our County of Fresno community and providing really valuable information. And John, thank you for your expertise and assisting during this process. And John, do you have last words to say, or any other questions or any information?
Nope, I have nothing else. Deep, you and your team do an excellent job. And anybody on this, watching this here, give environmental health a call down there, and they will definitely work you through the process and help you as best they can. Thank you again.
All righty. Well, thank you for everybody joining today, and we will be posting, if we will, most likely we will have another virtual workshop next Tuesday. And with that, I want to wish everybody happy holidays, and please get those right of entry forms in. It's really, really important, and it's a great program. I cannot emphasize enough. It's a really free, no out-of-pocket cost to you. With that, everybody have a great evening and happy holidays. Thank you for joining us. Bye.
Thank you, Deep.